praise your name. I will praise your name. When times of need carry on, I will praise your name. I will praise your name. Though darkness falls all around, I will praise your name. I will praise your name. If I forget what I found, I will praise your name. I will praise your name. For you are faithful, Lord, you lift my head. You're my provider, you're my strength and joy. I'll trust you, Lord. I'll worship you. I love you, Lord. I'll honor you. Lord, I will lift up my soul. I will praise your name. I will praise your name. If I feel lost and alone, I will praise your name. I will praise your name. Though I may labor in vain, I will praise your name. I will praise your name. Through all the heartache and pain, I will praise your name. I will praise your name. For you are faithful, Lord, you lift my head. You're my provider, you're my strength and joy. I'll trust you, Lord. I'll worship you. I love you, Lord. I'll honor. I will trust you, Lord. I'll trust you, Lord. I'll worship everything I say. I love you, Lord. I'll honor you. I'll trust, never let me go. I'll worship, never let me down. I'll love, forever I will love you. I'll love, I'll trust every hour, every day. I'll worship, that's why I worship you. I'll love, I'll praise you, Lord. I'll honor you. Lord, I will lift up my song. I will praise your name. I will praise your name.
Hallelujah. Let Lord Jesus Christ shine forth. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us. Welcome to another live stream with DCCI Ministries. Hope everyone had lovely weekend and new day, and hopefully we are longing for another new day. um, so what we are going to do tonight is we will be talking about the perfect preservation of the Quran under two missing chapters of the Quran, looking and going through some of the early Islamic sources. To do that, I do have on the line Brother Jai Apologetics and Daughter of Christ. Peace of Christ be with you, brother.
Hey, sister Hatun, sister, daughter of Christ. God bless you both. God bless all of the viewers. Thank you for having me with you today.
How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing great by God's grace. I am excited for our topic today. I think it will be a really interesting one and hopefully some new information for people.
Okay, and have you fixed your drunk computer?
It's like 99% fixed. Sometimes there's like a relapse, it goes back to, but yeah, oh no, it's mostly fixed. Praise God, thank God for that.
Okay, good. Beloved, peace of Christ be with you.
Hello, sister. Peace of Christ be with you, sister, and brother Jai. We prayed for that laptop, brother, earnestly. So I'm glad to hear that it sobered up. Yeah, praise God.
How are you doing, sister?
I'm well, sister. I'm back from work. I don't like this time of year, Hattie,
Why?
because it's cold and dark, and Christmas time is coming. And I don't like Christmas time.
Me either.
Yeah,
But
so
for
Oh,
us, every day is Christmas. For us, every day is Christmas. So,
brother Jai feels differently. He loves Christmas. So
yeah,
sorry,
you do?
yeah, I
sorry.
love yeah, right now we're in the Advent season awaiting Christmas. I love Christmas, but yeah, maybe that's a topic for another stream. I don't know.
Yeah. For me, every day is Christmas. I love the theology of Christmas. It's amazing that Father gives His Son to us as a gift. But for worldly things, I think Christmas is not my favorite time of the year. Anyway, so what I have done is, because I'm a very good person, I put in the chat, I pinned the link for people to call in to the live stream, as well as same link in the description if anyone want to call in the topic which we are discussing. Though we are going to talk about certain chapters which were in earliest Qurans. That's what Islamic tradition tells us. But something magical happened today. They are not in Muslim Quran of Muslims, even not in the 37 different Arabic Qurans. So we will be talking through that. If you want to contribute, debunk, question, or whatever you will want to do with that topic. You can use the link to call in. You are very much encouraged to do so. It's easier for us if you call in instead of just make your case in the chat, because by the time I speak, you get to hear me 20 seconds after I speak, and by the time you type, I get to see that late, and then argument kind of just loses it's kind of, what is it? Yeah, you lose the argument in one point from the 20-second time difference. So therefore, you are gently encouraged to call in. And dear moderators, thank you very much for being with us and serving us. Very, very grateful for that. Just want to gently encourage you to make sure you kind of don't copy and paste the same thing again and again. And please don't take 37 different Arabic Qurans as an example as he copies and pastes the rules. That's just a couple of times he will be doing that through live stream. So we don't want people to abuse the chat. That means don't copy and paste the same message again and again. It's not helpful to anyone. Do not share anyone's personal information. That always can end up in wrong hands. And we gently encourage you to kind of keep the conversations in the topic. But if there is something seriously affecting your eternity, you can do that as well. Bring up that topic. But it is like really, really affecting your eternity that moment. Okay. So, Jai, I was told last week the Quran we are reading is dot by dot. That was just last week, okay? Dot by dot, letter by letter, sound by sound, exactly the same what it was revealed to Muhammad. And
Right,
according to Islamic
that's what they
tradition,
say. Yeah, that's what they say.
yeah, but I thought like they moved on from that. They are still saying that. They are still saying that. According to Islamic tradition, first Quran is compiled under Abu Bakr, and then second Quran is compiled under Uthman. So the Quran which Muslims kind of would go and check is identified as the Uthman's Quran, which we don't have complete copy from 7th century as a manuscript. But when we look at the Islamic traditions, Islamic tradition tells us once Uthman ordered first Quran to be compiled again, that was because people were failing in the recitation and in memory. It has been copied, multiplied, and sent it to the different cities. That Quran apparently contains 114 chapters. And then there is someone called Mr. Ubay bin Ka'b. Islamic tradition tells us Mr. Ubay bin Ka'b, who was one of the best recitation and someone Muhammad said take the Quran from, and this is the same gentleman which Muhammad beat him, struck him on the chest when he had doubt regarding the different version of the Quran. Islamic tradition tells us he had 116 chapters in his book. Am I correct?
Right, that is correct. And this might come as shocking to a lot of people, maybe most shocking to the Muslims. If you didn't know, your Quran that you hold in your hands today is not identical to the Quran of Ubay. Ubay, who, as Sister Hatun just said, Muhammad instructed you to take the Quran from. So the Quran that you have in your hands today is not identical to his Quran. And one of the biggest ways is that he had 2 extra chapters or 2 surahs that he had in his Quran.
Okay, first I'll show the surahs and then we go back and then figure out who is this gentleman and what went wrong that we don't have his Quran. Beloved, would you like to add anything before I show the chapters?
Someone asked, where did these 2 surahs go?
Where did they go?
Yeah. Like
That's
some
good.
verses we know they're eaten by sheep and that. But what happened to these 2 surahs? Does any one of you beloveds?
We just want to gently encourage them to wait and be patient until the end of live stream.
Oh, so we'll find out what happened to them?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know
hope
as well.
so. I hope so. Because answer is gonna be Allah knows best.
Oh, Abbas is here. We can ask him what happened to the 2 surahs of Ubay's Quran. What happened to them?
Yeah. I did actually ask these 2 chapters yesterday at Speaker's Con, and respond I got was it's not in our Quran today. So this is the 2 surahs which we are talking about, Surah 115 and 116. Current Quran finishes Surah 114. So here you've got the Arabic and English, but I'll make it nicer for you. I'll put this slide on. This is like much with the transliteration and the translation. This is Surah 100, so 115. Anyone wants to read it or?
What do you say? If Brother Jai is happy to read one, maybe I can read one. This is brand new to me, by the way.
I think if you know the Arabic, you will be able to
Yeah.
recite because oh no,
Yeah.
you are not from Hanafi school.
It's okay, sister.
Okay.
I'll read it. So, let's start with Surah Al-Hafad, the haste. It says, اللهم إياك نعبد ولك نصلي ونسجد وإليك نسعى ونحفد نرجو رحمتك ونخشى عذابك إن عذابك بالكفار ملحق. Sounds very Quranic, sister. It rhymes like the short surahs of the Quran.
Yeah.
It says, you alone we worship, and to you we pray and lie prostrate, and to you we proceed and have descendants. We fear your torture and hope for your mercy. Truly your torture will overtake the infidels.
Yeah. Another lovely surah or sayings of Allah. Okay, so this is Surah 115. Let's move to the Surah 116. Brother Joy, do you want to read this one, brother? You don't have to read the transliteration if you don't want.
Okay. So this is one of the surahs that's found Surat al-Khala in Ubay, not just Ubay, by the way, other companions, but we'll get into that. And it reads, Lord, for aid and forgiveness do we beseech you. We praise you and do not disbelieve you. We denounce and forsake all who disobey you. And so these were prayed as kind of like in a way to what's the word, to pray against people. They were praying against the people, like they would be praying against the Jews, against the Christians, against the pagans, and they were prayers kind of like denouncing other people, like praying against people. So these are what these are, considered to be part of.
Yeah, so Allah is trying to kind of cause terror in the hearts of non-Muslims overall. Okay, so
Someone's
it's
asking, how can they be new to me? I was a Muslim. Yeah, because they're new to me because they weren't in the Quran. They're not in the Quran that I recited. That's the
so
point of the
Yeah,
stream.
these are not in any Qurans. These are not in any Qurans today. So these are, of
Yeah.
course, new to people who don't know about it. In fact, if there are any Muslims, I'd be curious if they knew about these, and maybe we can have some people call in and they can tell us what they think. Why is it that the Quran is different from someone like Ubais?
So today's Muslims generally don't know. Some of the Muslim missionaries might maybe heard of it. As Daughter of Christ said, the reason is because it is not in this perfect preserved Quran. But it was also well known in until around 900s, first couple of centuries of Islam. Magic happened, and then in somehow those two chapters end up not being in the Quran. So those two chapters are from Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran. Okay, Ubay bin Ka'b is one of the companion of Muhammad, which Muhammad said take the Quran from him. Muhammad gave 4 names, and then one of the names which Muhammad gave in the intention of taking the Quran and learning the Quran was Ubay bin Ka'b, and Ubay bin Ka'b had extra 2 surahs in his Quran. Just want to make sure everyone got that. Current Quran contains 114 chapters, finishes in Surah Nas. Yet Ubay bin Ka'b, who died around 664, probably 660s, he had extra 2 surahs in his Quran. And those surahs were seen physically around 900s. Okay? Here's the hadith which Ibn Abbas Umar said, Ubay was the best of us in the recitation, yet we live some of what he recites. Ubay bin Ka'b says, people have taken it from the mouth of Allah's apostle and will not live for anything whatever. And then of course you got this magical verse of like abrogation in here. But yeah, so this guy was like good guy, clever guy. Correct?
Well, Muhammad thought so, sister.
Yeah, so we go with what Muhammad says. Muhammad said, take the Quran from these guys. Ubay bin Ka'b is in the list. Oh, sorry, maybe Ubay bin Ka'b died. Yeah, so Ubay bin Ka'b is in the list, yet Muslims, Islamic tradition tells us we left some of his recitation. And the recitation they left out is apparently these 2 surahs. This is one of the examples. Probably there is other things as well, but this is one of the examples which they left out. So what we will do is we will just go through some of the Islamic tradition, what they are saying about it, what happened to those chapters, and then if anyone wants to call in and then make a case why those chapters are not in the Quran. Hopefully we will learn something. Anyone wants to add anything at this stage?
You know what was amazing to me, sister? Not only are there two complete different surahs, but they have a name.
I know.
You know, they have names. You know, names, the surahs are named by Allah. That tells Jibreel. Jibreel tells the names to Muhammad. You know, Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-Imran, all these different surahs. So not only, they're not just missing verses, they're whole complete chapters with names and everything.
And there's a point, if we go back to the other slide, sister, there's a point to be made with that. The four people that you're to learn the Quran from, when we look at their codices of the Quran, when you look at Abdullah ibn Masud, you find that his Quran contained 111 chapters. Okay? And then we have other people mentioned, but notably Ubay, who doesn't he doesn't so there are five disputed surahs, okay, and three of them were, you know, not recognized or not put in Abdullah ibn Masud's Quran. The two that are in other people's Qurans are people like Ubay, and then the other two, they take the ones that Ubay didn't have and the ones that Ubay does have, but they didn't put in the extra two. So you have four people there who all have different canons of the Quran. So how are you supposed to take the Quran from four people? It's like saying this. We're telling you, take a book from me, from Hatun, and from Daughter of Christ. And let's say my book has 50 chapters. Hatun's book has 55 chapters. Daughter's book has 45 chapters. But we're saying, take the book from us. Well, how can you do that when we all have different amounts of chapters? It doesn't make sense. So that's a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
also
go ahead,
it's not
sister.
about like chapters. For example, if it is like just the number of the chapters, you can make a case to say like, oh, Surah 112 is in one book, it's like, let's say 20 verses, in other one it's divided to 3 chapters. You can even like make a case on that. But in here, we also have like those surahs, like in this version, just like forget 115, 116, but in it is this current written version, those verses are not in the Quran. Like it didn't mix with another chapter or anything. It's supposed to be at the end of the Quran, and it is not there.
Right. Yeah. So we're not talking about how many words are in each
Yeah.
chapter. We're saying the chapters, not disputing the count, the word count. We're saying that there are additional chapters with additional words and missing chapters with missing words, and we're telling you, hey, take our book. How can you do that when we all have different books? They all have different content in them in terms of, you know, mine has more content than Daughter's, but it has less content than Hatun's, for example. How can that be? How can someone tell you to take from our book as if we have one book that we all agree upon, which we don't, right? In this analogy, we don't. So likewise with the Quran, he's telling you to learn the Quran from 4 people, but all 4 of them, or let's say there's 3 different Qurans, at least 3 different Qurans between all 4 of them.
Yeah, so
So
you've got Zayd bin Thabit. That's the kind of so-called where the current Quran comes from. 114 chapters. You've got Ubay bin Ka'b, had 116 chapters. You've got Ibn Masud had 111 chapters. So Ibn Masud didn't have. So Surah Jai said like there are 5 chapters where kind of not sure like, oh, should they edit or what. So you've got Surah Fatiha, that's Surah 1, which Muslims recite 17 times a day if they do their five prayers. Surah 1, Surah 113, 114, 115, 116. Those are the 5 chapters which early Muslims, whom Muhammad said, oh, take the Quran from, were disputing regarding if this is the part of the Quran or not. Surah 1, 113, 114, And like those 3 chapters are in current Quran, Surah 115 and 116.
Right. And this also gets us to another problem. I mean, maybe we should wait for a Muslim to call in before we bring this point up, or maybe before we elaborate on it. But if these 2 chapters are not actually the Quran, they're not actually the Quran, in light of everything that we're going to present, it's not just Ubay, it's multiple companions who accept this to be part of Allah's revelation through Muhammad, part of the Quran, in their codices of the Quran. If they're actually not part of the Quran, but you have multiple Sahaba who accept it to be part of the Quran, then you're faced with this challenge of, the Quran over and over says to produce something like it, right?
Yeah.
Produce something like it. Well, if these aren't part of the Quran, then the challenge has been met.
So someone not only like produced something like it, but they did twice.
Yeah, they did it twice, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So if we've got, I can't see the chat now, but if we've got any Muslims who wants to call in and then explain this to us, please use the link which is pinned in the chat to do so. Let's go to early Islamic sources and then see how did they discuss regarding, what did they say about regarding these 2 chapters. Okay. No, this one. Let's start from this one. So, Al-Suyuti, Daughter of Christ, thank you very much for translating this to English for us.
It's okay, sister.
Since you translated, I guess you read it?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
kind of who comes up with the idea does it?
So, Suyuti, this is the Dur al-Mansur, volume 8, page 695, the online version. It says, the mention of what came in Surah Al-Khala and Surah Al-Hafad, Ibn al-Daris in his book, Al-Fada'il, it was told to us by Musa ibn Ismail. Hamad told us, we read in the Mus'haf of Ubay ibn Ka'b, O Allah, we seek help and forgiveness from you. We praise you with goodness. We do not disbelieve in you. We disown and leave whoever rejects you. Hamad said, this is now a surah. And I think he said, O Allah, we worship you, we pray and prostrate to you, and seek you earnestly. We hope for your mercy and fear your torture. Indeed, your torture befall the disbelievers. None of these verses are in the Quran today, sister. So it says, and in the Mus'haf of Hajr, he says, O Allah, we seek help from you. And in the Mus'haf of Ibn Abbas is the reading of Ubay and Ibn Musa, and Abi Musa, sorry. O Allah, we pray and prostrate to you and seek you earnestly. We fear your torture and hope for your mercy. Indeed, your torture will befall the disbelievers. Anas said, by Allah, they, meaning the 2, were sent down from none other than from heaven.
Okay, so I will kind of let us to comment a little bit later because we've got someone on the line. Sorry, let me just change this. Dear guest, can you unmute yourself, please? So we've got someone on the line. From my screen, you muted yourself. Can you please unmute yourself? That's okay. I won't put your picture on it if that is the issue. If you just unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I am the only one who sees your picture. So if you don't want your picture to be on the screen, that's absolutely fine. But for you to talk to me, you need to make sure you unmute yourself. Sorry, we are having some, I think, technical issues, let's say. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Hello. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Can you tell us who you are?
My name is Abbas.
Okay, and can you speak a little bit louder for me?
Can you hear me now? Better?
I can hear you, but it's not as loud as it's supposed to be.
Okay. Maybe I need to use headphones. I'll call you back then.
Oh, better. This is better. That was
Okay,
better.
yeah. If you can hear me, hello everyone.
Okay, so we've
just
got
like
Abbas on the line. We've got Jai Apologetics and Daughter of Christ is on the other line. Yes, we are talking about these two chapters of Ubay bin Ka'b. What have you got to share with us, Abbas?
yeah, I saw you bring the names up of the chapters of Haft and Khal. I'd just like to ask you, as when we want to find out the truth, we need to go to the correct sources as well. What are your sources that says that he had two extra chapters which call Khal and Haft? Is there a Sahih Hadith?
Okay. Jai or Daughter of Christ, do you want to make a comment on that? So Abbas is asking the
It's
question, what is our sources, which we
Yeah.
just read it, but what is
one of
our
your
sources?
one of your favorite scholars, Suyuti.
I didn't see any name, Haft and Khal.
Suyuti, Volume 8, page 695. Your favorite, one of your favorite scholars, Abbas, that you love.
Do you have
Did I
access to, Abbas, do you have access to YouTube? Are you able to see YouTube screen?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just put it on the screen so you get to see the reference.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Is that a hadith? Suyuti is quoting. Is Suyuti quoting hadith?
Suyuti is quoting the mushafs of the Sahaba. They're talking about their mushafs.
Yeah. What's the Musaf called?
It's in front of you.
The Mus'haf. Okay,
The
Phil,
mushaf.
first of all, hold on. So I guess maybe I missed the show where Abbas called in and he did his homework and he presented you the two names that you're looking for.
Yes, no, we are still waiting for those names, but
Okay, so are we gonna give
yeah.
him a pass today, or are we gonna what are we gonna
No,
do?
no. If you want to talk about it, I can
Okay,
answer.
let's first deal with this
Hang
Ubay bin
on a minute.
Abbas.
Hang on a minute.
Okay,
Don't have a chief. Don't have a
Abbas,
chief for having
Abbas,
that. You
Abbas.
can't
so
get away from me
Just
having a chief
I
from
just
me.
want I just want to
just
know
a moment. Jai,
if
just a moment.
if
I
Abbas,
will educate you right now. Let me answer
Abbas,
him.
can you
Educate him.
please? So, can you please make sure you speak close to the phone or the mic? Okay, that's the first point. No worries if you don't want to be seen, that's absolutely fine. I'm the only one who sees you, okay? You are not on the screen. That's the first point. Second point is I'll just gently encourage you to not overspeak to anyone. We will deal, Jai, if that's okay, we talk about these two names. We are still waiting after we deal with Ubay bin Ka'b's
yeah,
Quran.
it's
So,
no problem to me. I just didn't know if that's what you wanted to deal with. It was just a quick question, not a big deal. So the sources that As-Sayuti, the Musahaf that he's appealing to is the Mushaf of Ubay, one, Mushaf of Ibn Mas'ud, sorry, Ibn Abbas, it's another one. We have multiple sources, so As-Sayuti gives us multiple sources
Yeah,
that
no. I want to know the name
cites. Hold
of
on,
the
hold on,
book.
hold on, wait, hold on. Don't get excited. Wait. He gives us multiple references to multiple Musahaf of the Sahaba, and then when we go to Ibn Abi Dawud in Kitab Musahaf, he gives us the same exact codices from people like Ubay, from people like Ibn Abbas, and from Ali as well. We have other sources that speak about these being in his Mus'haf.
Okay. Give me the oldest Musaf he quoted, the oldest source, which says that Ubay bin Ka'b has two extra surahs. The oldest one. The earliest one.
Okay, he's giving it to us. I don't know if you can see the screen. It's right on the screen. He's giving it to us. So this is not the. I mean, so like
why
was
are you
mentioned
asking?
earlier, a lot of Muslims aren't familiar with this, and that's what we expected, that Muslims would call in not being familiar with these topics, which is fine. We hope that you learn about your Quran today. So if you look at the screen, he gives you the references. He doesn't say this is the newest one, this is the updated one. I mean, do you think there are different versions of their codices, or what do you think? What do you mean by the old one?
Okay.
Do you see my screen?
No,
We also have just
You
one
can.
moment, please. We also have eyewitness accounts, people saying that they saw, like we have we have people saying that they saw, for example, in Enes's okay, I guess we have something else on the screen here. Go ahead.
No, go on, brother. Sister,
No,
let's
it's on the
This
screen.
is
So
this is one of your screenshots, Abbas, of you saying that Suyuti is one of he draws the criteria for how to accept and reject the hadith. So if you accept his criteria for accepting and rejecting the hadith, why are you now trying to not accept his story for the Sahaba?
Where did I say Ibn Salah and others draw criteria to accept and reject hadith? Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so you accept the Suyuti, for the hadith. So why are you not accepting the Suyuti's story for these two surahs?
No. When we were talking about hadith, we were talking about hadith. What I'm asking you, which hadith says that there are 2 extra surahs of Ubay bin Ka'b? I need a hadith. It says that
maybe
Hadith
we're not.
what?
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Maybe we're not making it clear. These are scholars giving us the codices, the musahaf of the musahaf of the companions.
Yeah.
So it's not Muhammad said this was in their mushaf. No, these are the codices that they wrote, that they compiled, and these were the chapters that were included in their Quran. So for Ubay, for Anas, for Ibn Abbas, for Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, and for Ali as well. So the people attest to these things. There are actually some people that say they're giving eyewitness accounts of these, that they actually saw the codex with their own eyes.
So I've got book in Abbas. I've got book on my hand. Okay.
Yeah.
They are talking about in 900s. They are seeing the Quran of Ubay bin Ka'b. I'm sorry that you are not kind of aware of that very basics, but also just remember we put up the source. Let me put that up again. Where in Sahih Bukhari Hadith, I don't know if you still believe it or not, but according to Sahih Bukhari Hadith, they left Ubay bin Ka'b's recitation out. So they are like Bukhari is telling us they left it.
Okay, so all 3 of you speak. Now it's my turn. Let me speak. I ask a very simple question. Which Sahih hadith says that Ubay bin Ka'b has 2 extra surahs, Haft and Khal? You didn't provide me nothing. Then he says the people who saw it, those manuscripts, and you show the book as well. In the 9th century, people saw it. There is no companion you can ever quote me, that tells you that they saw different manuscript of different Quran of Ubay bin Ka'b. No companion ever said that, and no companion you can ever show me that says that Ubay bin Ka'b had Haft and Khal. Now I can educate you as well. You say I didn't read the book, yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
So hold on. Let's respond. Let me respond to that. So let's use your standard.
Okay, Jai.
Okay, let's use his own standard. Hold on, just wait. Okay, go ahead.
Let me make my point.
Yeah, he made a point. He's going to move on to something else now.
Okay.
I don't want to forget this first point.
Abbas. So there are 4 people on the kind of line. So when kind of people talk over each other, it is difficult to understand what is the case is being made. So you made your first point regarding, we did not provide you reliable sources. We did not provide you reliable sources. Let's hear from Jai to respond to that one, and then we pass on to you for your second point.
This is wrong. He talked over me. I didn't talk over any one of you.
Yeah,
so
you made the point, and you just said you're going to make another point. So let's respond to the first point. Don't do a shotgun approach where you give a million things.
Because all of you make different points. So I have to address everyone's points.
Okay, let's respond to the point that you just made. Let's respond to the point that you just made.
It is related to it. Now you says there are people who saw it. You're right. People who saw it. Who were those people? Those people came 200.
Perfect.
1 second. I haven't finished it. Please have some manners. Can you mute him, Adam, please?
Oh, manners. Okay, let's not. Okay, Abbas, hold on. Let's talk about what the evidence. Let's talk about the standard of evidence that you're appealing to. Okay, you're telling us where's the hadith. You're telling us where's the hadith. So what you're asking us, what you're implying,
Jai, you are
is that there's a hadith that gives in a specific.
Can't hear him.
Okay, Jai.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you were cut off. So he's asking for hadith, and then your response to the hadith is.
Yeah. Okay, so he's implying by his question that there's a hadith that outlines the canon of the Quran, meaning that he thinks that there's a hadith that says this is the mushaf of so and so, and here's every single chapter inside that mushaf. So if that's what he's saying is a standard for a canon, then give us any hadith that lists all 114 chapters that you accept and you don't believe there's any less or any more of the Quran. Give us any hadith according to your standard that mentions every single chapter the way you just asked us.
Or tells
May
us
I?
Quran contains 114 chapters. Here's the name of the
Yeah.
chapters. Go
Yeah.
on, yeah. Go on,
Okay.
Abbas. Yeah.
I didn't ask what he say. I didn't say that every chapter should be in the manuscript. I need to see manuscript. I asked a simple question. Show me a hadith by any companion that say there are two surahs called Haft and Khal is in Ubay bin Ka'b's manuscript. Simple question. Those surahs are mentioned by the mouth of any companion.
So we gave you Umar, who stated that they left the recitation of Ubay bin Ka'b out. Okay, we are giving you Islamic sources. Muslims are telling us they have seen the Quran of Ubay bin Ka'b, and then Ubay bin Ka'b has those two chapters in it, which other people doesn't have. And then you've got even sources talking about the similar things on Ibn Masud's Quran. So I think if you are asking which companion of Muhammad said beside Ubay bin Ka'b, it will be better if you just produce for us that Muhammad put the stamp for 114 chapters of the Quran, including Fatiha.
Okay, Hatun probably definitely failed. Daughter of Christ or Jack, can you tell me that?
We've got the names. Unlike you, we've got the names. Suyuti tells us Anas ibn Malik said these. Wallahi, he said, Wallahi, in anzalata illa min as-sama. By Allah, these two anzalata, these two were sent down from none other than heaven. And your favorite companion Abdul Rahman as-Sulami in Suyuti again, volume 18, page 815, said those same verses. Abu Abdurrahman as-Sulami, who was a companion of Muhammad, said, by Allah, the Prophet used to recite those verses and he put them in the Quran. And also they said Ali ibn Abi Talib said that they were in the Quran.
No, hang on a minute. I didn't see anything. What do you say? Anas bin Malik said what?
It's on the screen.
Okay, it's on the
Yeah,
screen.
we had it on the screen.
I had it on the screen.
No, I think the print was so small I just couldn't even read it.
Okay, if you
Okay,
sister, if you go
so Anas says
the-
that. Anas says that. So what are you going to say to Anas? Is he wrong?
No. Can you put it back the screen? Where Anas
No.
said?
What are you going to
sister, if
say
you
to
just
what
put
Anas just said?
Yeah, if you saw now on the screen Anas saying it, what would you say? Or will you discount Anas ibn Malik as well, or what?
No. If Anas says that, then I will be corrected that Anas says that about the
okay.
name of
Okay, Anas says that according to
Okay, there it
Asayuti.
is. There it is.
That's it.
There it
No,
is.
where's the source? I want to see the
It's on
source.
the
There it
bottom of
is.
the screen. Sir, maybe if you can
It's on
remove
the
the logo,
the
the
screen.
DCCI
Okay,
logo.
he
So
gets.
Scroll down a little.
Guys,
hang on.
just a moment.
What
Guys,
is the book?
just a moment. So Abbas sees the screen. Sorry, we've got someone on the line. You are muted. So once we finish this conversation, we will take you in. If you just wait there for a second. That's first point. Second point is Abbas get to see screen 20 seconds after we talk. Okay.
Oh,
So
Okay.
just
Okay, so sister, can you just either zoom down or remove the
Actually, no,
DCCI logo
Abbas
because it's
say,
on the very bottom?
sorry, I apologize. Abbas sees the screen because he's on the line. He doesn't see us on the YouTube. Abbas is
if
on
you
the
just
line.
remove the DCCI logo, sister, because it's the
Yeah.
last line on the
Or if you
side.
can like scroll down, there we go, perfect. So
There
that
it
part
is.
right there in the black,
Okay.
the bold text, at the very bottom of the
Anas said by
page. This
Allah.
is Asayuti. Hold on. This is Asayuti quoting Anas. So what do you think?
Hang on. Anas said by Allah, they were sent down. Why are you reading in the brackets? We're not going to read in the brackets, are we? So Anas
Because
saying by Allah.
I tell you why there's
Why don't you give us your
Abbas, I tell you why there are brackets.
let me give us his translation. Wait,
No,
sister, let him give
Abbas,
us his translation.
Yeah,
Hatun, when they talk over me, why didn't you tell them not to talk over me?
because you don't know any Arabic. The
You asked
reason
a
there are
question.
brackets
You asked a question.
because the plural in Arabic comes in two, the dual form, and it comes in the three. That's why, because you don't know any Arabic, you can't read what's in front of you on the right, which I've put in the rectangle, because in English,
You
there's no
are
difference between plural two and more than two. That's why there
da-
says the two in
daughter of
brackets.
daughter of
You're
Christ,
so
daughter of Christ.
ignorant. You don't know Arabic, and now you think, oh, how come you put something in brackets, thinking we're deceiving when actually it's
Daughter
your
of
lack of
Christ,
knowledge,
you are
my
too
friend.
emotional for your own good. You know that. You
I'm
just
not emotional.
so
I'm frustrated by
okay.
your ignorance, my friend. That's
calm
why
down.
I'm not
Calm down. Hatun,
frustrated.
are these the
It's in
manners that are
front of
supposed to
your
Okay.
follow?
face. It's
Okay,
in front of your face.
okay, guys, just a moment, just a moment.
Calm
So,
down. I can shout like you as well, but I'm not
Just a
going to
second.
shout to the level.
Just a second. So, right now, we saw, kind
No,
of,
we
I think,
didn't. We
I
didn't.
think we met with the criteria. We met with the criteria that
No, you didn't.
which you said,
You
if we
didn't.
give you Ibn Abbas, you would agree. Sorry, Anas. Anas tells us, yes, they were sent
No, but
from
he didn't.
heaven. You can see the
Hatun.
reference again on the
Yes, he did.
screen.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Read what it says. Read what it says.
Okay.
He's talking about, okay, if
Again,
you read the
when I talk,
context,
when I
hold on,
talk,
hold on.
let me
So
finish what I'm saying.
Abbas, you asked the question. Okay, you asked a question. You said what? You said we don't read between the brackets, or you said something like that. You asked a question. Daughter of Christ answered your question. Then you got mad and said that we were interrupting you. No, you asked a question and you paused, and we there was time. We filled in the space and we answered your question. Okay, so what Enes is saying
What was my
here?
question?
Hold on. What Enes is
What was
saying.
my
What
question?
you were
Your
saying
question,
that
why
you're
was there
asking
were
if we.
brackets? And I answered the question.
I didn't
Your
ask you a
question,
question. I said
you
there
said,
should
why
not
are
be a
there brackets?
No, these are
Best
this.
You
read.
said we
This is
don't read. You
calm
said we
down,
don't
woman.
read.
Calm down. This is a rhetorical
You
I'm
said
question.
calm.
you said we don't read.
Best
Okay.
read
This is called
line.
rhetorical question. I was
Read
making
the
the
last
So you asked
line.
the
making that
question.
statement. I was saying that. I
Read the
said
last
what
line.
Abbas,
Read the last line.
Abbas, can you read
Hatun,
for
Hat-
us? Abbas, can you read for us in Arabic?
Hatun,
What does it
Hatun.
say? And then who is
Yeah.
giving us the reference from the Arabic sources? Arabic sources on the screen. Tell us
Okay.
who is telling us that these two chapters came from heaven.
Okay,
First of
hold on.
all,
Before he answers, he's talking about what's in the Mus'haf of Ibn Abbas, and it's also in Ubay and in Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. And in that context, then he quotes it, and then Anas says, by Allah, he's swearing by Allah that these couldn't have come from anywhere other than from heaven. So he's saying that this came from heaven, from Allah. That's the context. So he's not just saying this isolated out of nowhere. The context is this appears where? In Ibn Mas'ud's codex. Sorry, Ibn Abbas. I keep saying Ibn Mas'ud. Because Ibn Abbas, Ubay, and Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. So that's the context. What's your answer?
okay, I'm just reading the source. What's the source? Source is Al-Dur al-Manthur. What is that book?
Oh my
It's
goodness. It's
are you
Suyuti's
disputing
book. You
As-Suyuti
don't
now?
even know what Suyuti wrote. You don't know the books the Suyuti wrote.
It's probably not available in his language
Why don't
where
you
he's
Yeah,
calm
speaking.
read
down?
Abbas,
Take a
Abbas,
glass
read the
of
last line.
water. Daughter of
Abbas,
Christ,
read
take
the
a
last
glass of
line.
water.
Abbas, read the last line in Arabic.
Anas says, by Allah, they
Yeah,
were
no,
sent
in
down.
Arabic. Read in Arabic. The last line.
If you're disputing Daughter's translation,
If you're
then read it in
disputing us,
Arabic.
you
Give
read
us
it
your
in Arabic and
translation.
show us then what we got wrong. Go on, read it.
Well, the screen is very small, but I tried.
Okay,
Wallahu
okay.
inna anzalahu
No, read
illa
it.
min.
No, read it from the beginning. From the blue.
Because there's a context to it. There's a context.
Yeah, read the blue.
Well, blue from the top.
No, the last line starts from the right. The first word from the right in Arabic is blue.
Kala Anas. Yeah, Kala Anas.
Qala Anas. What does Qala Anas mean?
Anas said.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So what did Anas say?
Thank you very much. What?
Continue.
Thank you for translating. Now what's the
Thank you
rest
for
of it say?
translating. Continue.
Wallahu in anzala. I can't read this very small. Anzala ila manas sama.
Okay, let me correct you. It says Wallahi in anzalata illa min as-sama. What does that mean?
Yeah. I'm not an Arabist, so I don't know.
Okay, so you don't know how to refute us because you can't even read it. I'll tell you what it says. It says, by Allah.
Translation? Why is he disputing the translation? Why is he disputing
Why are
the
you
translation?
disputing what we're saying if you can't even read it?
I was saying the brackets, I don't read the brackets. Bracket is
Okay,
somebody's...
you know why the brackets,
are
you know why,
essential.
and we told you why the brackets are there, because in the Arabic, the language that you don't know, the plural comes in two and in more than two.
Hatun, why don't you tell them? They keep talking over me. What's their
So
problem?
let's just
Because you can't read.
understand this. Let's
You're
just
following the
understand this.
illiteracy of Muhammad.
So, translation
Yes,
from
your
Arabic.
illiteracy.
Arabic is on the
Your
screen.
illiteracy.
Arabic is on the screen. So you said you read it in Arabic. Anas said you understood what that Anas was saying that. So now we gave you the sources. So can you please be kind enough and
No, you didn't.
answer the question?
No,
What
you didn't. I'm
happened?
going to
Those two
What do you mean we
two
didn't give you the
surahs
source? What do you
didn't
mean we
end
didn't
up
give you
in
the
the
source?
Quran.
First of all, this is Suyuti saying it. Suyuti is not saying any kind of a chain. Suyuti and Anas were not live in the same time. Suyuti lived
Sister,
like...
put my...
why do you keep talking over me? Have a glass of water, sister. Please just calm down.
Okay, I'll have
I'm
water,
talking
no
She's not your
problem.
sis- she's
Sister,
not your sister.
share my screen. Can do you see your before you
Hatun, why is
attack
she not letting me
Suyuti?
speak?
Look
Why she
at the
feel
screen.
so insecure? Why she's not letting me speak? Is this how you
because
deal
you
with
Who's
people
insecure?
calling you?
I tell you why,
You're disputing
because
a Sayuti. You're disputing a
you,
Sayuti.
and you love Suyuti. Look at your own quote for Suyuti.
So
Yeah, what did I say?
Abbas, you expressed your love towards Suyuti, and then now
May I
you
explain
read,
myself?
we read from the Suyuti, which you confirm that Anas is saying, by Allah, those two surahs came down from heaven. That's in Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran. Basic question is why they are not in today's Quran, and we've got someone is on the line as well. Can you please answer the question, and then we just after that we will take this new caller.
Okay. This what you're putting my comment in the screen. What do you understand of that? I'm meaning it. They made a criteria. They
Abbas,
made criteria.
can I just ask him a question?
I have to answer you when you put something on the screen and ask me a question. This is my criteria. You must understand what I meant. I meant is they were
so
the
you asked the
scholars.
question.
They were
Okay, so
scholars of Hadith.
this is the problem. You ask questions, and then you get upset when we answer the questions. You say we're interrupting you. Hold on. First of all, before we get to that, do you admit that As-Sayuti says Anas bin Malik says that? Yes or no?
In the book of Suyuti, yes, Suyuti says that. Yes. So,
okay, so Sayuti says that Anas says that. Okay, we agree on this now. So now the question is As-Sayuti a reliable source, right? That's where we're going now?
Suyuti is a reliable source?
Is Suyuti reliable or not?
Is that your question? Is that your question? Is Sayuti reliable or not? Because you're saying yes, according to As-Sayuti, he says Anas says this. So now the question is As-Sayuti reliable or not, right?
No,
Yep.
he's
And
not entirely reliable. He's not entirely reliable.
Oh, he was reliable the other time when you quoted him to us.
Exactly.
That's the point of your comment. That's the point of your
When I
comment.
said that. You must understand what I meant. What I meant was they were the muhaddithin and they make criteria how to accept hadith and how to reject hadith. What hadith we need in a hadith? We need a strong chain. We need
okay, so you accept that. So you accept their criteria for hadith, which is much more important than the Sahaba, but you don't accept their criteria for the Sahaba's sayings. Correct?
No, but we need to verify where he heard that Anas says.
But they're the ones helping us verify.
Because it's very important that this hadith. You keep talking over me. Calm down.
Let me just say that these guys, no one disputes. No one makes the arguments that Abbas is making right now.
Let me make
the arguments that Abbas the arguments that Abbas. This guy keeps talking.
Same again. Can I make a point? Can I have 2 minutes only? Just 2
yeah,
minutes.
Because you like changing the goalposts. You change the goalposts all the time, man.
I'm not. You don't understand my goalposts. That's the problem.
Yeah, if you rewind the discussion, you said if Anas said that, then I'm mistaken. If Anas said that, I'm mistaken. That's what you said.
Yeah, and now you're not mistaken anymore.
And now you're saying,
you misunderstood me.
No, we didn't misunderstand you. Now you're getting to the point of being dishonest. That's what's happening now.
I ask you for a hadith. This is not hadith.
Okay, what do you mean it's not a hadith?
This is not hadith.
What does hadith mean? What does hadith mean?
Hadith, we have
what does hadith mean?
Hadith
means
what does hadith mean?
Okay, guys, let me just to kind of for us to move forward. Abbas, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. The 2 minutes you are asking. In that 2 minutes, can you be kind enough and then show us the hadith where Muhammad states that Quran starts from Surah Fatiha finishes with Surah Nas. That's the beginning to end. And also
No, I'm not going to answer this question. I'm going to say what I want to say.
Muhammad is simply saying Ubay bin Ka'b's these two surahs, or give us something
No.
discredits what Suiti is saying. So you've got
He
2
said he
minutes
won't
No,
answer
to
it.
make.
He said he's not
I'm
going
going
to
to
answer
use my 2 minutes. I'm going to use my 2 minutes what I want to say. Don't put another new question.
No.
never
It's not your
In
show.
that 2
It's not your
minutes,
show.
I
since
never said
It's not your
you are
it's not
trying,
Fatiha to one Nas.
since you are
This
trying,
isn't Speaker's Corner. This isn't your show. Hatoon's
No,
giving
I'm
you a
addressing
question.
your
You can't say,
point.
"Oh, I'm gonna say."
I'm
You
going
can't
to
say, "I'm gonna
show
say whatever I
you.
want to say in the 2
I'm
minutes."
going to
She's
show
asking
you
you a
the
specific
sources
question. It's
you're
her show.
using.
Give her the respect. It's her show. Answer the question.
so since your
Yeah, I'm
criteria
asking the
is
question
regarding
about
the, it
Ubay
is
bin
not in the
Ka'b
hadith,
himself.
please provide us that where hadith is canonizing the Quran for 114 chapters, 6,236 verses, and then also use that 2 minutes to make your proper rebuttal.
Okay, I'm not going to answer this question. That's not the topic. The topic is Ubay bin Ka'b Musaf, are they authentic or not?
See how disrespectful this guy is? He's like, "Well, manners."
Yeah.
Ubay bin
Just
Ka'b.
please don't give him. Don't let him dominate.
Yeah,
Don't
you're
let him
running
do
away.
that.
Why are you running away from the question, Abbas?
I'm not. You guys not
You
letting me
are.
speak.
You are. You said you're
Abbas,
not gonna answer it.
do you have any
Seriously.
Islamic sources?
Seriously, seeing
Do you
your
have
attitude,
any
you people,
Islamic
you are
sources
so scared
tells
to
you
be exposed.
Quran is 114 chapters, 6,236 verses? Have you got anything that you can show us?
So you're running away from my answer, aren't you?
Yes, you can
know
see.
No,
that.
you're
You
running
can
away.
see I am running
You're
away.
running away.
Yes,
This
you
is
can
not a
see right
reasonable
now.
question.
I am
This
running. I
is
am out of breath, and
You
I
always,
feel I already did 5
whenever
miles.
you do
So,
that, it
do you
shows me
have
that
Islamic
how weak your
sources
arguments are.
tells you Quran is 114 chapters that where Muhammad is stating with 6,236 verses? Anything else beside that is not acceptable. Have you got any sources that you can
Okay.
give us?
Did you ask this question before when I came to the show? Did you ask this
That was
question
your
to everybody?
criteria. That was your
No,
criteria. You
no.
asked for a hadith.
Did you ask this question, Hatun? Be honest.
You
Abbas,
asked
When I
it.
came to this.
Abbas,
If you would have asked this question, I would have said, I'm not going to answer this question. You were not
Abbas.
asking.
Okay, then
So I am taking, so with the Islamic
give.
principles,
Can we
I
give
am
someone time
taking
who will
that
answer the question?
silent. Just a moment. With the Islamic
But this
principles,
was not the
I am
question when I
taking
came
that
to the show.
silent as no. There is no any Islamic criteria. Tells us Surah Fatiha to Surah Nas, 114 chapters, 6,236 verses is what Quran is supposed to be according to Muhammad. Now, we
But you
moved
changed
on
the
from that.
goalposts when I
So
came to the
can
show.
you tell us? Can you tell us what happened to Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran?
Okay, Ubay bin Ka'b, the thing is, the sources you have are at least 200 years after Ubay bin Ka'b. Those
But they're
people
good
you
enough
are
for your
saying,
hadith.
those who, hello,
You,
2
they were
minutes,
good
have
enough.
manners.
They were good
He
enough
gave
for
me
your
2
hadith,
minutes.
though. The 200 years old, good enough for your hadith, according to your quote on the screen, though.
Hatun, why you not telling
Yeah,
her to
and
stop? You gave me 2
that's not true.
minutes.
It's not true. 200 years old. Where did you
Hatun,
come up
when
with
you
this
give me
number?
2 minutes, that means 2 minutes. Why are they talking in my time?
Abbas,
Start my time
by the
again,
time
please.
you cry,
Can you start my time?
by
Start my
the
time
time
again.
you waste your time crying,
Well,
you should
people
be able
can
to
no, but
provide
they're
us
talking over
answers.
me.
So,
I'm making my point. They're
in
talking over me.
in
You can't have a
900s,
civil
in
conversation like that.
900s, Muslims are seeing copy of the Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran and stating there are 2 chapters and then telling us what is inside it. So, what have you got from Muhammad tells us Ubay bin Ka'b's, who is the best of the reciters, Ubay bin Ka'b's, these 2 chapters shouldn't be part of the Quran.
Okay, can I have my 2 minutes
Just
without
go for it.
anybody
Instead of
interrupting me?
crying, like just go for it, Abbas.
No, because they keep interrupting. Can you not can tell them not to interrupt me? Okay, now.
He's
Abbas,
complaining
just
about us interrupting when we're not even talking.
Okay.
It's like this guy
Okay,
just.
Ubay bin
What's wrong with
Ka'b,
him?
the first people told us that Ubay bin Ka'b has 116 chapters in his book were Al-Nadim, which is the book called Al-Faris, and Al-Itqan of Al-Suyuti. Now these people live well after Ubay bin Ka'b. Now the people they are quoting who saw the manuscripts of Ubay bin Ka'b are Al-Fadl ibn Shaddan, who lived 260 after Hijrah. 260 after Hijrah, he saw the Musaf of Ubay bin Ka'b. Another person, Ibn Ashta, who lived in 360 years after Ubay bin Ka'b. Ubay bin Ka'b had many students, among them Anas bin Malik and Abdullah bin Abbas, Abu Musa. None of this they ever said that in authentic hadith. None of them that they have 2
This
extra
guy,
chapters.
he's just making stuff up. He's just making
They
stuff
never
up,
said
honestly.
that. So the point here is the sources you're using are weak sources and not authentic sources. They came 200 years after Ubay bin Ka'b.
Okay.
They
According
were
to
not,
who?
They were not
According to
eyewitnesses.
who?
So early
According to
sources,
who?
according to, I can give you the sources. Okay, fine. You want a source?
No, tell us
Sources.
who says that these are weak sources.
Yeah, who says Suyuti is a weak source? And who says all these companions
What a
are weak source?
ridiculous
So
thing. By the way,
what?
can I just share something?
When we-
Can I just share something? Oh, hold on. So Muslim scholars, not Abbas, but actual scholars who acknowledge the historicity of the fact that, for example, in Ubay's Mus'haf, which is recorded in multiple sources like Ibn Abi Dawud, for example, in Kitab al-Masahif as well, and as well as the one we just read, many other sources. The scholars who actually acknowledge that yes, these are historically correct, that yes, he did have these 2 chapters in his codice, or his codex, they don't make the arguments that Abbas is making. What they say, some of them will say that these are just prayers. So they don't dispute that they did or didn't have this in the codex or not. They just say these are 2 extra prayers that people added. Some scholars say that these were abrogated chapters, and Ubay didn't know that they were abrogated, so he kept them in. So the people who actually know this material, not just learning it for the first time like Abbas, don't make the arguments that he's making right now. No one disputes the authenticity or the historicity of these.
You just throwing.
So,
You just throwing random
Abbas,
people.
I think you should take this
didn't quote any source.
opportunity. You should take this opportunity to just what is the phrase? Do a little bit homework, and then call us in after
No
your
homework.
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 Now,
I can
I've got someone who's been waiting on the line. I will be
have done
muting you.
homework.
In
I
that
got the
muting
sources
time,
here.
you do your homework, and then
Why
when
you
you
keep
come,
saying that? I don't need the homework.
actually, you've got to do homework. It seems you've got to do your homework.
Harun,
Because
I
with
challenge
your
you
criteria,
on Sunday.
all
You
of
have
your
a debate with me
customs,
on this topic.
with your criteria, all of your customs comes actually from 250 years later if you are disputing the timeline. And we told you, so reliable oral tradition, supposed to be so perfect, reliable oral tradition, simply tells us this is what is happening. So do a little bit homework and then tell us when Anas stated this book, this surahs came from heaven, and then we can have healthy conversation. So what I'm gonna do is I've got someone on the line. I'll just unmute that person and then we take it from there.
Sister, can I just say one point before we move on?
Okay, Jai.
Okay, so if you wanted this 200-year thing, first of all, that's a lie. He's literally just making stuff up on the spot right now. But what if that's true, 200 years after is we can't trust it. There's not a single manuscript, not a single manuscript in the first, let's say, there's 2 centuries of the Islamic era that conform to the Quran that he says that is, the version of the Quran, the Hafs version of the Quran. Not a single one in the first 2 centuries in the Islamic era that conform to it. So if he's saying that if we don't have something within the first 200 years, which is not the case for this material, but if that's true, then he just said that the Hafs version of the Quran is unreliable.
Okay, Jai, just the
That's a different topic.
quick correction. Quick correction. Until 10th century, still in 10th century, we don't have Quran which is exactly the same with the Hafs Quran manuscript side. It's not only 2 centuries.
He's saying 200. He's saying 200. No, he's saying 200 years.
Yeah,
so I'm saying within the first 2 centuries.
Yeah, even giving him extra
so I'm saying within the
200, still
first
it
2
doesn't.
centuries.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so Abbas, if you can mute yourself, I'll just say hi to the caller. Hello.
Hello. My name is Wesley Lawrence Curry II.
And are you Muslim? Are you Christian, sir?
I am the man of the earth whom you were shown prophecy that shall turn Mecca to dust and all Qurans to dust.
Okay, so
and I asked Jesus to give you a healed tooth on this day.
Sir, hold on a minute. We are talking about Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran, and 2 chapters of Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran is not in today's Quran. Have you got anything to share with us in that?
October 10, in the year 2005, You were
Okay,
all
sister, he's not
paralyzed
gonna.
in your
This
Okay,
guy,
so what I'm gonna
yeah.
what I'm gonna do is, sir, first of all, I apologize for keeping you wait, but so far it doesn't look like your intention is to contribute to the discussion we are having. Therefore, I will be gently kicking you out from the chat. So thank you very much for calling in. Okay, okay, Abbas is on the line, but he's kind of muted mic and other things. I'll just move him. Okay, I'll move him from this. No, okay, he's here. Daughter of Christ is on the line. And in meantime, we did have someone called in, but because its screen was full, so I had to kind of hang up that person. If person wanted to call in, you are very welcome to try again. So, Jai, would you be kind enough to just summarize Abbas's rebuttal? I apologize, I cut you off. Would you be kind
Okay.
enough to summarize Abbas's rebuttal? And then what we are expecting from him? I think he had a couple of minutes. I'm guessing in that couple of minutes, he did his homework. And then we can kind of, you never know, brother. You never know.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so in all honesty, I mean, it's a shame for someone like him who has a beard and he's mature and he's so dishonest the way he operates. So if you have respect for yourself, Abbas, go do the research. Don't just make stuff up on the spot. It's a disgrace. It's a shameful thing what you're doing. What he's saying is that all the sources we're providing don't come until 200 years later. That's what he's saying. And so the standard he's giving is that if it comes 200 years later, then it's not reliable. And if that's the case, then his Quran, the one he holds to be the correct reading, the correct version of the Quran, can't be trusted because we don't have one within the first 200 years of Islamic history. So, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say, but
All the hadiths all come, the Bukhari and Muslim, all of them come more than 200 years. So that's half your, actually that's 99% of all your religion isn't documented until 200 plus years later. That's what makes it a weak religion. So are you going to throw it all away now that the 200 years have elapsed, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, or the basic question will come when you do your prayer. How do you know what you are gonna say in sajda? All those kind of things, they are not in the Quran. The very, very basic things of living as a Muslim is not in the Quran, unless you become Quran only Muslim by discrediting everything. But so far, I'm not aware of that. If you are discrediting dates, that means you cannot live your life as a Muslim. So we gave you. I'll put that on the screen once again. So we gave you, where is it? Start from here. So we gave you Anas, okay? And then meantime, not Ubay bin Ka'b, Ali is on the list as well. Ali is expressing those, confirming those Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran. As well as people are seeing that in 900s. Yeah, so please provide something for us by, and here's also a list where people are kind of talking about what they have. Around 738 people are claiming they have seen Ubay bin Ka'b's Kodaks, and they are claiming they have seen these extra chapters as well. So if you become kind enough,
right.
And then just give us your rebuttal, or if you've done your homework, Abbas. Oh, sorry. You are muted by my side. I apologize. I thought you muted yourself. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Yeah.
you now. Sorry about
So,
that. That was my fault.
I mean, Jay asked me one question, you asked me another question, then you say answer it very quickly, and in the middle, then suddenly Daughter of Christ will jump. That's a good trick, isn't it? Not the other person to let answer.
Just
Okay,
answer the
well,
I
question.
didn't ask a question. First of all, I didn't ask a question. I just
Yeah,
summarized
when you
what
don't
you
have an
said.
answer, you start ad hominems. When you don't have an answer and you actually have a chance to speak, you just personal attacks. Yeah, we know your trick as well.
I'm guessing he didn't do his homework, sister, so
We, don't,
it's probably not
we never
beneficial.
know.
Yeah, he's trying to save face.
We never
understand.
know. Maybe
'Cause
he did his
there
homework.
are
So let's give him chance. Abbas, do you have a response?
there are many scholars who did say that, if I'll quote you one scholar, Al-Mizzi, in his book called Tahdhib al-Kamal.
What is the date for him?
Al-Mizzi, I mean,
Yeah.
he lived, I don't know his date, but
Give us the date. Since dates are important, is he before is he around 700,
Yeah,
800?
he better not be 200 years later.
No. When you say Suyuti says that
No.
Anas says
Give
that,
us the
one minute, I'm
date
just
of
telling you,
Al-Muzi.
when Suyuti
Give
say
us
Anas
the
says,
date
this
of
Suyuti gave us
Al-Muzi.
the chain. This Suyuti gave us the chain that who he heard that Anas says. He didn't give us no chain. So I'm telling you, one scholar called Al-Mizzi,
What is
He
the
doesn't
date?
understand.
Al-Muzi's,
He doesn't
Abbas.
I'll
understand
tell
how
you,
this
I'll
works.
tell you, it's 1300s. It's 1300s.
Okay,
That's
so
the date of Al-Muzi.
Al-Muzi is
Al-Mizzi.
1300s. So you are discrediting Suyuti, who is much early than
No.
Al-Muzi, and then you are going with Al-Muzi. Give me something, Abbas. Let me ask my question nicely. Give me something.
You didn't let me speak.
Give
Let me
me
speak. Let me make
something.
my point. You
No,
don't
I
understand.
can see where your point is going. I know I'm not God,
What I
but
was
right
going to
now I
say.
feel where your point is
What
going.
I was going
Give
to
me
say.
something from 7th century, 8th century.
No. What I was going to say. Tell me.
Give me something from 7th
Okay.
century, 8th
I'm saying
century.
you cut me in the middle because you
He's
say
going to
you know
14th.
what I
He's
was
going to
going to say.
14th century.
Tell me what I was
14th
going to
century.
say.
Abbas.
Okay.
You said you quoted something from the 14th century when you had an objection on 200 years after.
No,
That's our
she
problem,
said
Abbas.
she knew what I was going to say. What I was going to say.
Abbas,
I want
can
to
you
know what I was
please,
going to say.
Abbas, can you please be
Okay.
kind and then give
Now,
me something?
no.
Give me.
This is not
Abbas
a
says he
civil.
doesn't even know
This is
who
not
the
how you
scholar
talk.
is, and he's quoting him. He didn't know when he lived. He's just quoting
Abbas,
anyone that he can find that agrees.
This
That
is
agrees
who's
not
with him.
Al-Muzi?
how.
Who's
This is not
Al-Muzi? Where
how
did he
you
live?
have a talk, civil talk. Everybody talking over me. Not let me speak. What
Who's
people can see
Al-Muzi?
here. What people can
Who
see
is
here.
Al-Muzi? Who's
You
Al-Muzi? Where did he live?
obviously you
When
guys
did he
have
live?
no argument.
When did he live? Where did he live? Where is he? Who is he? Who is that you quoting? How do we know what you're quoting is
This is
correct?
how you follow Christ. I mean, no manners
Yeah,
whatsoever.
Okay. Now he's just
Christ
going
loves the
off.
Okay.
Now he's
truth.
just going
He
off.
doesn't like deception. Christ
So,
loves the truth.
Abbas having problem with Al-Suyuti reference and Anas and all other names we mentioned. Reason for that is because they are 250 years after the things happened. We were not produced or we were not given any reference from Muhammad that Quran contains 114 chapters, Surah Fatiha to Surah Nas, with 6,236 verses. There is nothing in the Hadith tells us that, and we were waiting reference to just debunk Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran. People in the past in Islamic tradition, people talked about those verses were part of the dua. People didn't turn up and then said, "Oh, they were never part of the Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran. They were edited. All it was too late. We cannot believe." That was not the argument in any form or any shape.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
therefore, what Abbas did is he went to Al-Muzi. He's dated, what did you say, guys? 1300s, did you say?
1340 is when he died.
14th
Okay.
century.
Of course, my question would be if he's reading from original or he's reading someone's footnote from someone's book. Remember, there are some of the footnotes have
Yeah.
been in the
Yeah,
past lying.
Al-Ghamidi who lies in his books and he's been thrown out of Pakistan. That's his
Okay.
favorite scholar,
Yeah.
who's actually alive
So
today.
So let me
yes.
just give him
So
one
another
more chance. Sorry, Joy.
wait, another point. Some of the people who argued against this the most, like the scholars who argued against this the most fervently, that they rejected that these were surahs from actual authentic surahs. The arguments that they made, like you said, Sister Hatun, it wasn't that these are unreliable. They all acknowledged that these are actually in Ubay's codex, that they were in, like Anas accepted them, that Ibn Abbas accepted them. They accepted those. What they did was they challenged whether they were considered to be prayers,
Revelation or dua?
revelation or not. Exactly.
Yeah.
Some of them actually did say that it was revelation, like I said earlier. Some said that it was revelation, but it was abrogated.
Yeah, but
And these guys
they're
didn't get
all
the
wrong.
memo.
They're all wrong,
Yeah.
but Abbas
So
is right with his 1300s.
right. And so these are the ones who actually argue against them. No one makes the arguments that Abbas is making right now. He's going to give us some 14th century, whatever. Look, let's hear what he has to say.
Okay. So, Abbas, you all heard what has been said. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Can I ask, beloved ones, please, let's give him 2 minutes to make his case. And then if there is anything we need to respond, we will respond.
Okay. Now, the original point was the sources are weak sources. We says the Hafs and Khal surahs there. Those people were no eyewitnesses. They lived 200 years after Ubay bin Ka'b. And what I was going to quote, Al-Mizzi is not quoting any hadith. I'm not taking any hadith for Al-Mizzi. What I'm taking is Al-Mizzi quoting the history. And what did he says in his book? He says, it is strange that none of Ubay's students have reported from him his differently arranged codex having 2 additional surahs. And his book called Tahdib al-Kamal, volume 2, page 263 to 264. Then there are other sources like there's a book called Muqaddamatun by Arthur Jeffrey, and he's quoting a tabi by the name of Muhammad ibn Ka'b al-Qurazi. And what did he say? The tabi is saying this: I saw 3 masahif, a mushaf which contained the reading of Ibn Masud, another which contained the reading of Ubay, and another which contained the reading of Zayd. In none of them did I find anything contradictory to any of the others. Who's saying that? He's a tabi saying that, and Arthur Jeffrey in his book called Muqaddamatun, page 47, he's quoting that. Now, these are the people, I just quote you tabi. What Suyuti is saying that Suyuti is not giving us any chain when Anas says that. So we need to see the chain. Doesn't matter Suyuti say, whoever said, we need to see chain. The answer.
So where is where?
One second,
where
my
is
two minutes haven't
Daughter of
finished
Christ,
yet,
just
please,
a
for
moment.
God's sake. So when we take hadith, we don't take any hadith, but who says what? We need to see the chain, the strong chain. There is no mudallis in there. There is no mudarrij in there. There is no mursalat in there. If those hadith chain are perfect, goes with the Quran and Sunnah, we take. It doesn't matter if we come 300 years after. But Suyuti is not quoting any chain. And I can give you many other references. Even these Al-Faris of Al-Nadim, Al-Suyuti, if you see their list of Ubay ibn Ka'b, even their list don't match. I got the whole list here.
Okay,
Let's
Okay,
go.
it's been 2
okay,
minutes.
now,
Okay, give us the chain.
okay,
Give us
okay,
the chain for what you just said. You just gave us a citation. Give us the chain for it.
okay, so,
Yeah, and you quoted someone called Tabi'i. Tabi'i is a title. It's not a name of a person. Tabi'i means
Yeah,
successor.
and that's and Arthur Jeffrey. He's a
We
translator.
know what you
It's not
mean.
his book.
Yeah, where is the chain for
It's
what
so
you're
you
saying?
know the funny thing is
I
that he
didn't say Tabi said that. I say he's a Tabi. He is a Tabi.
Who is the
He is.
Tabi'i? What's his name?
I give the name Muhammad ibn
What's it?
Ka'b al-Qurazi. Muhammad ibn Ka'b
Okay, where's the
al-Qurazi.
chain? Where's the chain?
He lived.
Where
He
is the
lived.
chain? You said there should be a chain. Where is your chain?
No. I'm talking about the chain of the hadith, isn't it?
No, where is the chain that of the guy who said that he saw no difference between the Musahaf of Ubay and Abi Masud and Ibn Abbas? Where is that guy? Where's the chain for that guy?
But the guy himself, he's not giving any. The guy, he
Where's
said
the
that.
chain?
But
You said we need a chain. Where's the chain?
you said Suyuti had no
okay,
chain for the history.
okay,
Where
guys,
is your chain?
okay, guys, just a moment. Guys, just a moment.
Wait.
Abbas, you heard the questions. You right now think about it and reflect on it. Here's the Arthur Jeffrey. Seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
See the
Yeah.
underline? See the underline? Look at.
Yeah.
Okay. I read it.
That's Kitab Musahaf, right?
Just read it. Let me reading it. Okay. But we have 2 extra surahs, Al-Kal and Al-Hadith. So he's talking about the Ubay bin Ka'b's codex. Okay. See? Sorry.
So
Right.
are you saying that the book that Abbas just quoted us telling us the exact opposite of what he just said?
And
Is that
page
what you're
number
saying?
is
He appealed to Arthur
115.
Jeffrey. He appealed to
No.
Arthur Jeffrey.
Arthur
Now she's giving
Jeffrey,
you Arthur Jeffrey.
page
What is the book?
115.
No,
Arthur
what is the book?
Jeffrey,
It's his
115.
translation of Kitab.
No, what is the book called, Arthur Jeffrey? What book is it?
It's the book you are
Kitab
talking about, the English
al-Musahaf.
I say
translation.
Yeah.
Muqaddamatun, yeah?
Can you show us your book? Can you show us the book you're reading from?
Show us your book and give us the page.
Show us your
Show
book.
us your book and give us the page.
Okay.
The Arthur
My
Jeffrey. No,
book-
the Arthur Jeffrey one.
I'll just, guys,
no.
just a moment. So while you are reflecting all those questions.
I'm not reading from Arthur Jeffrey's book. I'm reading from another
You
scholar's
just
book.
Yeah, so
quoted Arthur Jeffrey.
I'm
though.
reading.
Where's
I'm
quoting
reading
Arthur Jeffrey.
Arthur Jeffrey. He's talking
So-
about the old Quranic
No, what's the
codices. Okay.
He said Muqaddamatun. Is that the book called?
So-
page 115. Okay, listen. We have 2 extra surahs, Surah 115, 116. I'll just give you the numbers, okay? Like Surah Al-Khal, Al-Half. Yeah. And then he's extra kind. I don't want to be mean in this occasion, but he's extra kind. He also identifies the textual variations between them. Okay? So this is the book. He's talking about all codices. Okay, so now.
No, hang on a minute,
So,
hang on a minute. I have to
are you
stop you there.
able to?
What
Are you
book are you
able
reading
to,
from? What
Abbas?
is his book? I quoted
Abbas,
from
are you
Muqaddimah.
able to produce us the chains which Brother Jai was asking you?
I
And
am
then
not going to
also,
accept your whatever
also
you're
you
saying right now about
expressed,
Arthur
also
Jeffrey.
you
I'll give you the
expressed,
reason why.
also you expressed that none of the Ubay bin Ka'b's students said that he's got these two extra surahs. Okay,
Hatun,
can
who?
you be extra kind and then tell me who are Ubay bin Ka'b's students and where did they said it?
Arthur Jeffrey, whatever you show Arthur Jeffrey, who is quoting? Tell me who he's quoting. You didn't say who he's
You
quoting.
just appeal to him.
But
You
You just
just
appeal to
gave
him.
us you just gave us Arthur Jeffrey as a
no,
good scholar to go to, and
no,
she gave
you
you the
just read a
primary one
line.
of his books,
Okay,
saying
You
exact
sister,
just
opposite
let's
of
you
what you're
just read
can
a
we
saying.
just
line.
remove?
Don't
Can we
you
remove
can
him,
deceive people. You
sister?
can't
Can we
deceive
just
people
remove
because
him?
I
This
know
is not
exactly your
good.
trick. Tell me
You're
what
being a
Arthur Jeffrey is
deceiver. You
saying.
give us the exact opposite of what you're saying. The people
No,
you're
no, no.
quoting give us the
No, no,
exact
no, no, no.
opposite.
1 second.
Okay,
What did Arthur Jeffrey who is quoting? Tell me
okay,
what is he
okay.
quoting?
Sister, can we just
You
remove
just
him,
read one
please?
line.
Okay, so
Which
what is the problem right now is um lots of things are problem right now, but we express that early sources are telling us Ubay bin Ka'b had two extra chapters, and sadly we've got like no proper rebuttal to that. Am I correct?
Yeah, and it's deception.
Right.
It's
I mean, this guy
quoting.
is so deceptive on so many levels. It's just unbelievable how this guy can sleep at night. This is
So
incredible. You need to repent,
And
Abbas. This is
yeah,
insane.
honestly,
also
the
just
history.
for the side information, if you go to Otto Jeffrey's book, okay, turn page 180 to 181, you will see it says in uh, I don't know, I can't see the screen right now, but I don't know if you are able to see it, but anyway, this is the
No, you need
page.
to read it, sister, because it's
Yeah,
small.
so I'm gonna read it. So he kind of tells you the variations between the books. Okay, in page 180, he says he talks about Ibn Masud's Quran and then moves to the last paragraph. Ubay's codex was known to contain two surahs not found in our Uthmanic text. And then he talks about, though there is some dispute as to their position in his codex, in view of the doubts as the accuracy of any of the information that has come down to us, surah ordered in his codex are not, this is not important. Okay, and then what he does is he tells you in Arabic, Surah 115, and then Surah 116 in Arabic, and then again tells us those verses are not there, and then explains and then says which people thought it was because of the abrogation, not because we do not trust those sources, but because of the abrogation. Abrogation recognized is no longer included in this Quran. That's what he says.
So his opinion is not that those students didn't trust and all that. What
No,
we heard from
I'm
Abbas,
just trying
correct?
to. Yeah,
So
this
it's
is.
the actual opposite. Okay, it's a good. It's a good thing you've got the books, sister.
And then you've got the Arabic as well. Like he didn't translate the surah, he just wrote it in Arabic. That was the for page 180, 181, where he's talking about the early codices. And then like I encourage actually just anyone, if you are interested in all the earliest manuscript stuff, textual variations of the Quran, just get the book because it tells you which chapters and verses are different in which Qurans. For example, the page I just turned on tells me Surah 3, this 3 to 2 is different in Ibn Masud's reading, and then it tells you how was it in Ibn Masud's reading. So you've got all those, like, even there are some Qurans like we don't have today. For example, Ibn Qayyim's Quran, Abu Imran's Quran, which we don't have the physical copy yet. he's telling us the textual variations between them. So if you remember, this is supposed to be dot by dot, letter by letter is being preserved, yet people are actually telling us, no, even the early Qurans were not preserved. Here's some of the textual variations. And then, of course, in 900s, which we expressed that people have seen the physical copy of Ubay bin Ka'b. Okay.
Perfect oral tradition can't last 200 years, sister, apparently, or more than that.
Then you have to ask Muslims, how do they do their ghusl? If they cannot trust oral tradition. And Brother Jai made important point, let's make sure we don't forget the current Quran they are reading. When we look at first couple of 100 years, we do not see exactly the same Quran. For the Hafs Quran, I'm just talking for the Hafs Quran in any of the manuscripts. So those are just like helpful if people are disputing the dates of things, or they are saying, oh, I cannot trust that it is 250 years after all those kind of things. So can I bring our attention to the slides, and then we continue from Anas?
Yes, because there will be more companions actually confirming these ayahs and these surahs, sister.
Okay, I'll put that on the screen. This is Anas. Let's move to the next one. So Arabic is next to it. If anyone wants to challenge the English translation, please do so. But if you are gonna do that, make sure you know Arabic, so you are challenging. Don't do what just recently happened in this live stream. So Arabic is on the side, English is on the other side. So
yeah, you can't really dispute a language if you don't know it. You look silly. And then we have to teach you Arabic, which is, we don't have time for that, but bring your sheikhs who can actually read it, okay? It will save us all some time. So this is Dur al-Mansur by Suyuti. Volume 15, page 814, the box that, in the red box that I've got here, sister.
yeah.
We got the chain. Muhammad ibn Nasr from Yazid, from Abi Habib, he said, Abdul Aziz ibn Marwan, sister, that he was the brother of the caliph at the time. He sent to Abdullah ibn Zurair al-Ghafiqi. He said to him, by Allah, I see you are averse. I do not see you reading the Quran. He said, yes, by Allah, I read the Quran, and I read of it what you do not read of it. So Abdul Aziz said to him, and what is it that I do not read of the Quran? He said, Al-Qunut. Ali ibn Abi Talib told me it is from the Quran.
And where is it in the Quran?
It's not in the Quran today, sister. So the verses of Al-Qunut are the verses of those two surahs that we talked about, that my brother Jai correctly said that the scholars were saying, the Sahaba were saying, is it abrogated, is it not? They changed it. They decided that they shouldn't put it in the Quran and just keep it as a dua, as a supplication. And it's those verses that we mentioned, sister.
Okay.
And this is the brother of the caliph. This is not no normal guy in the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got someone on the line. Let's just take the caller. Hello. Sir or ma'am, can you hear me? Okay, can you call us when you are ready to talk? Thank you. Sorry, sister.
Sorry, sister. Yeah. So that's according to us. That's according to Suyuti. Like we saw from the screenshot, he's one of the great classical scholars. I agree with Abbas on that one. And we've got the chain here of the story of the brother of the caliph having a different Quran from this person he was speaking to, the person called Abdullah ibn Zurair. And the verses that he had is the verses that Ali ibn Abi Talib had, remember? And Anas from the previous slide said that those were definitely from heaven.
Okay. Good. We've got the chain now, but I'm not sure if that's gonna meet with the satisfaction. Jai, anything you would like to add, brother? Jai, anything you would like to add? I think he left us. He will be fired, I think. Let's move to the next. Let's
Okay,
move to
no
the next
problem.
slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next slide, that's the same page, sister, going into the next page.
Yeah.
So it's saying here, Muhammad. So we've got another chain. Muhammad ibn Nasr ibn Ata ibn Sa'ib. He said, Abu Abdurrahman al-Sulami, one of Abbas's favorite people in his chains of things. He said he used to recite to us, "O Allah, we seek help and forgiveness from you. We praise you with goodness. We do not disbelieve in you. We disown and leave whoever rejects you." These verses, sister, like the two surahs that we talked about, to the end. And Abu Abdurrahman claimed that Ibn Mas'ud used to recite it to them, and he claims that the Messenger of Allah used to recite it to them. And they're not in the Quran today.
Okay.
So actually, sister, Suyuti's got a whole chapter of these two surahs, what happened to them, who believed that they were in the Quran, who didn't. So the people who believed that they were in the Quran is Abu Abdurrahman al-Sulami, according to Suyuti here, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Muhammad's cousin, Anas ibn Malik, Muhammad's servant, and Muhammad himself used to recite it to them.
Okay. I can see actually Abbas is still. Oh no, Abbas is not here. Sorry, I thought Abbas was on the screen.
Yeah, I saw him for a short time. I think he
Okay.
was listening.
Okay. So what happened to those surahs?
I don't know. Maybe Brother Jai knows. Do you know, sister? I'd love to know.
So there are kind of discussions on they were abrogated. And then there is another argument regarding actually they were not revelation, but they were du'as. They were like prayer. And then miracle happened since they left Ubay bin Ka'b's recitations, which he was like one of the best. They left his recitations. Therefore, they went with Zayd bin Thabit's Quran. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, sir. Can you tell us who you are?
No, fine.
Sir, who are you?
My name is Adam.
Sir, are you Muslim?
Shush.
Okay,
Shush.
can you call in when you pull yourself together? Okay. So those are the lovely Muslims from Speaker's Corner, you know, the ones who are talking about my daughter, and the ones who are like
You have a
being
daughter?
paid. Oh, you didn't know?
I didn't know.
I had a daughter with who is Muslim.
Well, if you listen to them, sister, like according to them, you've been married like 10 million times. You have all. You're like 100 years old at least. Don't
Good,
listen
good.
to what they say.
I am helping them to make money. That's good. That's good. I'm not only helping them to make money, but also I'm helping them to give up Islam.
Okay.
So, Brother Jai, are you there?
I think he needed to go, sister. I just had a message. God bless you, brother. Thank you.
Oh, he's still on the screen.
Oh,
He
I
forgot
think
to
he
hang
needed.
up. Okay.
I think he needed to step out. God bless you, brother. Thank you for your
Okay.
exposing the untruths that we just heard, sister. It's just terrible, Hattie.
Yes, thank you. He's so patient, though. Thank you very much, Jai. So I'll kick him out. Okay, we kick him out officially now. Okay, so let's just go back to basics. We kind of figure out what happened to Surah. Okay. Here's also, I did put on the screen, but I didn't mention what this was all about. This is kind of, if you see the place where it says textual sources, so they just wrote it down for us where you can go and kind of simply find the people who are talking about this, and then if you look at the dates, you can all see them as well. So where this Surah 115 and 116 is being mentioned. I guess we end up, if I understood correctly, we are in place now still asking the question we asked at the beginning. What happened to Ubay bin Ka'b's two surahs, or what happened to two surahs Muhammad claimed to receive, as well as individuals expressed they were revealed from Allah, and in somehow people saw that in 900s in the physical copies of the Qurans, but something happened, and 21st century we did not get to see those Qurans, those verses.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to them, sister. Why Muslims would have two surahs out of nowhere that they call surahs, and they have names and they have them in their mushafs, and then poof, disappear, you know? I think, sister, you mentioned Bukhari. He talked about how Ubay ibn Ka'b's, some of the surahs in his mushaf were not included. Some of the verses in his mushaf were discounted, left. And this was confirmed by later scholars scholars of Islamic history like Suyuti, and we got Kitab al-Masahif by Ibn Dawood as well, that's 3rd century Hijri, talking about these missing surahs, and scholars of Islam trying to work out why those surahs were missing.
I noticed, sorry, I'm just gonna get rid of this for just a second. Sister just moved on. Okay, person hung up anyway. So I noticed as I was talking about author Jeffrey in his book, so I've got the slide actually in here where he tells us as you can see, this is Surah 115 and then 116. So can you read this?
Yeah.
Are you able to read it so we make sure like it is the same surah?
Yeah, it says Surah Al-Khala. It says in the Arabic, اللهم إنا نستعينك ونستغفرك ونثني عليك ولا نكفرك نخلع ونترك من يفجرك. Basically saying, Allah, we seek help from you and forgiveness from you. We praise you, we do not disbelieve in you, and we disown and leave whoever disbelieves in you. So that's Surah Khala. Yeah.
So if you see kind of at the end, his reasoning that they are not in the Quran is because of the abrogation.
Oh, not because some students were unreliable or Ubay ibn Ka'b, that crazy reasoning that I never heard, sister.
Yeah, he had good students. They just said,
Well, they should have been
my teachers.
They should have been good students, sister. Remember, the oral tradition is perfect.
Anyway, so options have been throughout Islamic traditions are while one side said no, they're supposed to be part of the Quran, which it was part of the Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran. And remember, even Yasir Qadi expressed in the past, Ubay bin Ka'b is not someone like you just picked on the street. He is like one of the best one of the best companions of Muhammad when it comes to the recitation of the Quran, who even had a doubt, and with that, Muhammad kind of, he's the guy like Muhammad hit from the chest when he had the doubts which he didn't even had in the time of Jahiliyyah. So where Islamic tradition tells us take the Quran from him, but people didn't take it. So tradition kind of gives us two views. One of them is it's abrogated. Other one is just it's gone.
Yep. I can't believe Abbas is still fighting in the chat. It's saying it's called qunut. Yes, we just
We just
read
read
it to
it.
you. We just read it to you when the guy said, Abdulaziz ibn Marwan, he's saying, what is it that I'm not reading from the Quran? Someone said to him, Al-Qunut. They called it that. And then he said to him, Ali ibn Abi Talib told me it was from the Quran. Suyuti Dur al-Mansur, volume 15, page 814. So it doesn't matter what it's called. People thought it was from the Quran, including Ali ibn Abi Talib and
So,
Anas.
but the problem is like their kind of idea is they are prayer. Okay, they are dua.
Yeah, dua.
Then you ask the question. Actually, same thing was for Surah 1. Surah 1 is a dua. It's a prayer. Why it is in the Quran as a part of revelation? In the coming live streams, we will be talking about Bismillah. Is it part of revelation or how did it end up in the Quran? You've got like those serious questions. How you end up having 114 chapters with 6,236 verses, with, according to your earlier sources, full of textual variations within them. Like just
I thought the main reason the Quran is a miracle is because people can tell what the Quran is so different from normal people's speech. How can it be that the companions thought that the dua is part of the Quran? Dua is meant to be the words of a human being, sister, supplication. Like if I
yes,
say, oh, Allah help me do this, do that, that's my words. But people thought it was Quran.
yeah. So you've got in-house discussions. Remember, Ibn Masud's Quran was 111 chapters, so he didn't have um, three chapters, which is in the current Quran. Surah 1,
Yeah.
Surah 113, 114. Last two is identified as dua again.
Yeah.
Surah Fatiha is dua, but in somehow some people thought that was part of the revelation, yet others thought that wasn't part of revelation.
So you're saying that the companions of Muhammad who heard it from his mouth were not sure
Yeah.
which part is Quran and which part isn't.
Yeah, and then you've got like, remember, you've got Islamic sources where person, let me find that actually, person says, oh, I remember this, but I don't know if it is part of the Quran. Let me, there are lots of slides. Let me just try to find that. While I try to find that, is there anything in the chat needs our attention beside like crying who cannot make any arguments on anything?
People are saying, oh, we're not at their level, but they're refusing to come to the stream, sister.
No, that's fine. Like, I'm not expert on anything. I'm just like asking questions, and hopefully someone will able to answer my questions in a way I can be satisfied with the answer. Here, it's not even like discussing the chapters, but even today's Qurans have footnotes. Simply tells us Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran was different even in certain chapters. So it's certain verses. Like, I don't think we are kind of asking to be, what is the phrase for that?
So what was it, sister? What was it that you had on the screen now?
That was Surah 33, verse 6. Yusuf Ali's footnote tells us Ubay bin Ka'b's Quran was different when it comes to Surah 33, verse 6. And then if you remember Surah 9, verse 128 and 129, we've got Islamic sources simply says, actually, let me put this on the screen because it's Ubay Ka'b is testifying this in this occasion. So Ubay bin Ka'b said the Prophet recited Surah 128, 129, Surah 9, verse 128 and 129. So they took it as reliable and then put it in the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened to his two chapters? What happened to his two chapters? He become not reliable at that stage?
I never thought, sister, I'd see the day when Abbas throws Suyuti under the bus. That was one of his favorite classical scholars, sister.
It's hard life, sister. It's hard life.
Like, how much more are you going to throw under the bus? Even Bukhari was thrown under the bus because he's more than 200 years after Muhammad by that criteria. Then what do you have left? Also, remember, guys, Bukhari also said that some of the verses from Ubay's Quran were left. The companions actually saying we left it out.
Yeah.
Bukhari. So if you're gonna throw Bukhari, if you're gonna say that never happened, then you're gonna throw Bukhari under the bus, then you don't have a religion. Bukhari gives you your religion, what Muhammad said and did. And without Muhammad, you don't have Islam, because Allah says in the Quran, you have to obey Muhammad. So what are you gonna do? It's like a little it's like a checkmate on a chessboard. Wherever you go, it's like nowhere to go. You're stuck everywhere.
Yeah, I'm listening to you as well, but also I'm trying to find the hadith where it states like, oh, we don't know if that was part of the Quran.
It's really sad, sister. It's this. And remember, sister, also, remember the famous interview with Mimi Hijab and holds in the narrative, Sheikh Yasir Qadi? Who did he quote? Ubay ibn Ka'b. And what happened to him? He had doubt in his heart. He had to be slapped by Muhammad on the chest because he had the doubt whether Quran was real or not.
Yeah, here's the reference. They don't even know if it was part of the Quran.
So let's read this. Sahih Bukhari, 8, book 8, volume 76, number 445. Ibn Abbas said, I do not know whether this saying was quoted from the Quran or not. Ata said, I heard Ibn Zubayr saying this. He was on the pulpit. I can't read that last line because your picture is on it, sister.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, saying this narration
Get
while
rid
he
of-
was on the pulpit. Yeah, so does that mean the Quran is not mutawatir, sister? Because remember what Muslims say, mutawatir is everybody knew, huge numbers knew what it is, and then they gave it to the huge numbers of the successors that came after them, and etc., etc. So they didn't know. So how did they know what to transmit?
I don't know, sister. For me, like, this is all magical and different accent.
Oh yeah. It's just different accents, but it's the same book. Apparently. Word for word, letter for letter. Word for word, letter for letter. We don't know what's in it.
Yeah. Anyway, so I guess the basic question we asked at the beginning of the live stream: what happened to those surahs? If you can't even take Ubay bin Ka'b's chapters, how can you trust the current Quran, which as it is?
So the conclusion is the narrative, the standard narrative, has holes in it. That's what I'm gonna say. The best quote ever and the most truthful. I think Muslims ought to believe him. I think he was right, sister. He was right.
Like, there is a way, like, as you kind of study your religion, you get to, you are in the privilege of reading sources, and Sheikh Yasir Qadi is privileged to be able to read Islamic sources, Arabic sources stuff. So as he reads, he kind of, okay, how do we reconcile those things? How do we reconcile? We can't reconcile. There is a red line we cannot cross. Let's leave it as it is. Instead of certain people who are fighting their way to, okay, we've got to reconcile. How do we reconcile? It is 250 years later, we cannot trust it. Or someone else came and then said this. He's got this students who disagreed with him. All those kind of things. All that, like,
Yeah, but you can't say 200 years later we can't trust her and then quote something from the 1300s. It's like are you trying to give me a heart attack?
or follow a book which is like comes much later than Muhammad.
It's
those are the things, like, they need to work their self out. But hopefully, while there's check Google, check internet, and all those books are like in PDF form as well. People could simply just read them and then make sense of it. Hopefully. I did ask this question on Sunday, but I didn't get any answer. All I got was I follow Hafs Quran, and it is not in Hafs Quran.
But you don't know where Hafs Quran comes from, though. Someone could have just written it 50 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, you need to know where your book comes from. Someone might have just taken you for a ride, fooled you, and written it, which is not far from what happened, sister. It's 19. What was it? The last canonization, the 1920s.
1985, when it is
Oh,
officialized for the world. 1924, when it is officialized for Al Azhar.
yeah.
So very soon we will have 100th birthday for the Quran.
Oh, the Quran
Yeah,
is
yeah,
yeah.
2024.
The 1980
85.
the 1985. Oh, I think a lot of us are older than this, but the 1920s one,
Not a lot of us, sister. Don't bring
most
in
of us.
right now. Yeah.
Not you, Hattie. You're younger than the Quran, but
Yeah,
my grandma's older than the 1920 version, sister.
yeah, so 1924 Quran will be celebrating its 100th birthday very soon. 1984, which is like officialized, 1805, which is officialized for the world. It's changing now. But anyway, so all we were trying to kind of ask the question of regarding the early Islamic sources and what the companions of Muhammad, your Sahabas, had in their Qurans. That was the basic question we are trying to ask. Hopefully, we will have people who will be able to answer, who are not camera shy or anything, with proper respond. Beloved, would you like to kind of summarize and conclude?
Yeah. So we have lots of Muslims in the chat that are saying you have no knowledge, but they're too shy to come join us and teach us. Guys, we can be corrected. Come join. Don't be shy. The fact that you're too shy to join is because you don't have answers and you know it. So yeah, there can't be a man in the chat and a little mouse when it comes to joining the stream. But anyway, sister,
Don't
what
insult
we
us.
I won't insult the mouse. Come teach us, man. I'm teachable. So anyway, what we saw, sister, today were sources from Islam of these two mysterious surahs, sister, that are not in the Quran today. And apparently they're made up by Muslims themselves because we had Abbas come and try and throw everybody under the bus. Oh, it's not this and that. But sister, they do appear in Ubay ibn Ka'b's Quran. And Ubay ibn Ka'b is one of the four people that Muhammad said, take your Quran from. It was Ubay ibn Ka'b, Ibn Mas'ud, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. You got Salim, the slave of Abu Hudayfa, and Mu'adh ibn Ka'b. Those four people is what Muhammad said, take your Quran from. But sister, all the Qurans are different. Ubay ibn Ka'b had two extra surahs, and they had names, Surah Al-Hafad and Surah Al-Khala, Surah 115, 116. Ibn Mas'ud had missing surahs, sister. And you quoted Bukhari hadith where it said that the companions said, we've left some of what's in Ubay's Quran. We've got Suyuti's book, Ad-Dur al-Mansur, volume 8, page 695, the online version, talking about these two surahs, giving us the chains of people talking about the ayahs that are in these surahs, the verses, and the two whole surahs. We've got Anas ibn Ka'b, Muhammad's servant. He said, by Allah, they are from heaven. They are from the Quran. You got Ali ibn Abi Talib, Muhammad's cousin. He read it as
And
from the
son-in-law.
Quran. Sorry?
And son-in-law.
And son-in-law. So he was the
And the fourth caliph.
he's the fourth caliph, husband of Fatima, his
Yeah.
Muhammad's daughter, and his own cousin. He read it as from the Quran. He didn't read it as dua, he read it as revelation, Quran. That's according to Suyuti's Dur al-Mansur, volume 15, page 814. And now these verses, sister, Muslims have taken out of the Quran and they put it in a dua called Qunut. And they say it's only a dua, it's not from the Quran. But the early companions thought it was Quran, so what happened to it? What's the answer? We don't know. We heard Muslims trying to say the sources are too late, but then they're trying to quote sources that are even hundreds of years later. They said 200 years is too late, but 200 years and after is where you get all your hadiths. Bukhari and all your Sahih hadith come 200 years later. So what are you going to do? We don't have manuscripts from those early before 200 years about the Quran at all. Zero.
Half, yeah,
The Hafs Quran that we have today.
yeah.
So where are you going to go? Where is this word for word, letter for letter, vowel sound for vowel sound? Even sister, the Jeffrey book that you had, even they had variations. Even those two missing surahs had variations.
Yeah, so
Correct?
yeah, that book is comparing early codices and how they are different from one another. That's the purpose of that book. Anyway, so these are the kind of live streams we want to give opportunities to Muslims, especially those ones like apparently who cannot come to Speaker's Corner yet. They are so brave to send certain type of emails or Skype messages. Intention is just giving you platform so that you can come and expose us if we are misrepresenting. As Daughter of Christ said, we are not expert on anything. We are simply asking simple questions for simple ideology. So, and our simple question was today, what happened to these two chapters which Muslims claim to, these two chapters Muslims claim to receive it from Muhammad as the word of Allah, but it is not in your Qurans today. That's all we are asking. So hopefully you will have more opportunity to kind of do your homework, come up with proper rebuttal, and then we can, I don't know, kind of find the ways to close those holes of the Quran. And we will have another live stream tomorrow evening, and then we will pick up this topic of how the textual variations between the Qurans are affecting Islamic schools within themselves on Wednesday evening. I think that's it. That's what we are doing. And enjoying Christ, of course, this week.
Yes. Oh, and tomorrow we're having comments and questions, correct?
Yes, yeah, another open kind of, not open mic, we don't have Skype now, for people to call in, and then we will kind of let you to have your sayings. As I said, main purpose was for those individuals who are sending very, very not acceptable emails. It was giving a platform to come and make your rebuttals regarding the perfect preservation of the Quran. And it's always good to go back to Islamic sources and then see how Muslims are telling us they butchered their own sources. Yeah, holes in the narrative. And of course, huge thank you to Brother Jai, who left us in the middle of the live stream. Huge thank you to Brother Jai for helping us to bring this up again and think through of the perfect preservation of the Quran. Beloved, thank you very much for joining me tonight. And by God's grace, I will see you tomorrow. And thank you very much, everyone who joined us in the chat and who kind of chat is moving, so who made the comments, all those kind of things. We will probably keep eye on them better tomorrow. May Christ crucified silent with his love, beloved ones, and dear Muslims, there are holes in the narrative. Give Islam up and turn to Lord Jesus Christ. God bless you all.